you. You may be seated.
Hello, Your Honor. This is a case of Jackson versus Pickens.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Ms. Jackson, you are petitioning the court to determine the paternity of your alleged granddaughter. You claim your son, who is currently incarcerated, would be a fool to think he fathered Ms. Pickens' one-year-old daughter.
Yes.
Now, you say she's a liar and had sex with multiple men at the time of conception.
Yes.
Now, Ms. Pickens, you admit to sleeping with at least 2 other men while involved with Ms. Jackson's son. You argue Ms. Jackson initially accepted your daughter with open arms, but now has turned on you both.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so Ms. Jackson, why did you initially accept the baby if you had doubts?
Your Honor, I never accepted the baby. That's a lie.
Yes.
I stated from day one, I do not believe this is my granddaughter. She first, if I can bring you into my reality with
I
this
want to go
family.
in. Tell me what happened.
Okay, she came to my home with her mother and another family member. Let me remind you, this child was already 4 months old. I never even heard of this young lady.
That's because you don't have a relationship with your son.
Yes, I do.
But
I have a relationship. He lives in my household.
I knew your son before
He lives
I
in
met
my
you.
household.
I knew your son
And he
before
never
I met
mentioned
you.
her.
He had
Okay, let's get some order, ladies.
Yes.
Ms. Pickens, I'm going to come to you, but I want to understand. Ms. Jackson, you say you never heard of
Never
Ms.
heard
Pickens?
of her. He
You
never
never
mentioned
heard
her.
about a baby, and
Never
one
heard.
day
He didn't live
she
with
shows
you.
up at
Yes,
the
he
house.
did. She comes in with this child, and again, they came in together. This baby's 4 months old. I said, I have a problem because you said it was another man's child. You should understand where I'm coming from. And in my face, she stated, yes, she did understand exactly where I was coming from. At the end of the day, I have the right to say that this is not my grandchild when I never knew of y'all.
Hey,
and you know this.
okay.
And this is something you know.
Well, this is
So
my-
now, Ms. Pickens, let me hear from you. So you find out you're pregnant and you know it's Ms. Jackson's son's child, or what happens here?
I did believe that it was one of the guys that I was dating, but her
That
son,
would be
her
biologically
son-
the answer. It was
her-
one of the guys
He
you were
pursued
sleeping
us.
with.
Yeah, he pursued
How many
me.
guys were you sleeping with?
2.
She don't know.
2.
She don't know.
2.
She
when I
don't
met
know.
him, I had a boyfriend.
Exactly.
Me and the boy stopped.
So she also said
Me
she's
and the
a
boy
cheater.
stopped.
Hold on.
Me
Now,
and
Ms.
the boy-
Jackson, let her speak.
I'm sorry.
When you met her son,
Yes.
you had a boyfriend.
Yes.
So somehow you get
Yes.
into a relationship with Ms. Jackson's son.
Yes. Like, we wasn't in a relationship. We were just messing around.
Okay.
Me and her son was messing around
And
every
you had
day. Every day.
Listen.
Unprotected sex every day.
And so now
yes.
listen, were you also having unprotected sex with someone else at that same time?
No, not at that same time.
Well, then how
but
could you
then when
call
we
somebody
broke
else the
up-
father?
When we broke up, but yeah, with the boy.
Because you was having unprotected sex with more than one man.
When we broke
That's
up,
why.
I did
No,
start
because she
talking to
said it.
somebody
Come on.
else. I did
Hold
start
on.
talking to somebody else.
Ladies, I can't understand a word any of you all are saying.
Okay.
Yes. When me
We're
and her-
gonna understand a couple things.
Yes.
I'm the judge, and I ask the questions, you answer them.
Yes.
Okay? Talk to me.
I will. I'm sorry. I'm just frustrated.
Understandably, this
Okay.
situation, nobody wants to find themselves in this situation.
Exactly.
However, if we're gonna resolve it, we gotta be able to talk about it. Now, Ms. Pickens, were you, at the time your child was conceived,
Yes.
having sex with any other man?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
Miss
when me and-
Jackson's son and
The boy who I was going with after him.
after him.
Yes.
And you thought he was the father
Yes.
at first.
Yes, sir.
The guy that was after Miss Jackson's son.
Yes.
Did you get a DNA test with him?
No, ma'am.
So why are you convinced he's not the father and
I
Miss
just-
Jackson's son is?
Her son pursued me. He called.
No. The pursuit doesn't have anything to do with the pregnancy.
I know, with the pregnancy. Yes, I did thought the other guy was her daddy because I'm like, well, you the last person I slept with, so of course I'm going to think that he was her father.
When did you change your mind and decide, no, it's not that guy, it's Miss Jackson's son? When did you change your mind and why?
When he pursued me, calling me and like, oh, well, that's my baby, this, that. So I
so
was
when
like,
you say he pursued you, you
Yes.
meant when you had this baby,
Yes.
Miss Jackson's son called
Yes.
you and said,
Yes.
that's my baby.
yes, and she looked just like him.
And you felt like there's a
Yes.
resemblance. She looks like him, and
Yes.
he's saying, this is my baby.
Yes.
So,
he ain't never denied it. If he did, he denied her around them.
Your Honor, I will agree.
so you think they look alike?
Yes, they do.
Your
They
Honor.
look just alike. That's his her
My son
twin.
look like Sonia.
And no, he
Yes,
don't.
come
He
on.
don't
My son
look
looks more like her
me.
than he does
She
me.
said
Nah.
her son look like me.
No.
Yes.
No.
Can you stand up
No.
and turn to the courts?
No.
That look more like her son than mine. Come
No.
on. Let's be real.
So, Miss Jackson, even looking at this shot, you still don't see the
I
resemblance.
see that all three of them can stand by each other, and y'all would think that's her son than mine. Yes. So I personally believe that the child looks like the grandmother, okay? Yes, I will agree with that. I do feel that way. I don't have no connection to this child. I have 2 granddaughters.
So when you
And I have
met,
connection
when you
with
met
that.
Yeah, but you
Shazia,
spend more time with your other
Because your
grandchild.
child is not mine.
But I'm just saying, if my daughter was not yours, you would have never took the time and be like, well, she could come over to my house. Well, you could come over to my house and spend. You could come over with
that's-
your daughter and spend the night.
That's because
I'm just saying,
that's the simple fact
what
because,
grown woman?
because
but I'm
my
just saying,
son
but
is
at the end
claiming
of the
this
day,
is
I'm
his
just
child.
saying-
I
but at
told
the
my
same
son,
time,
don't be a fool.
if you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. You're saying Miss Jackson actually expressed interest
Yes.
and established a relationship
Never.
Yes.
with the
Never.
baby.
Yes.
Can I
Never.
say
I never
fake,
had-
One second, ma'am.
I never
Fake,
established a
fake,
relationship with this child. We
fake.
got
Give
text
her a lot of
messages
text.
that would even sit up here and say, I never
Lying,
established a
lying.
relationship.
I'm
That
just
child been to
saying,
my house
if
3
I-
times.
if I-
If that's
need a
the
lot
case,
of
Your Honor,
Listen, we can either get this resolved or y'all can
can.
go on back home and act a
can.
fool in the street because you're
We
not
can.
going to act it up in here. I am serious. We're all ladies here and we all want the same answers. We're trying to figure out who is her father. Now, Jerome, can you go stand in between them to stop this cross-talking?
Your Honor,
Ms.
I
Jackson, you're
apologize.
saying you didn't establish a relationship because you never truly believed this was your son's child, but the child has been to your house on several occasions.
3 occasions because my son wants to get her. There's no relationship, and she.
So
even-
you do acknowledge that your son felt like.
Yes, I will say that. I do not deny
So
that at
now
all.
walk me through your doubt. If your son says, Mama, I'm going to pick up my little girl.
He never came
Mm-hmm.
and picked.
My doubt is,
she came
Your
and
Honor,
picked
my
us
doubt
up.
is because
She
for the
came and
simple
picked us
fact
up.
of no, that was
You
no.
came and pick us up. He
The
ain't never
doubt
came over
was
there
for the simple
to
fact
pick
of
her
my
up.
son. My son looks more like her
So
mother.
you're saying the first part of your doubt is you don't feel like the baby looks like your son.
Exactly.
Okay,
No
and
grandmother
next,
connection.
you don't have a grandmother connection.
No.
What, meaning when you look at the baby, you
I
don't
do
have
not-
that feeling
exactly.
that
This is my grandchild. I have 2 children that I love dearly and take very good care of them. And
She
not
just
with this
had her
child, I
baby,
can't.
so how do you know?
Okay.
Like,
So other than
Because I have
grand-
2.
So
her baby, if her
other
baby was
than
just
grandmother's
born, boo.
instinct,
And not
what
only that,
else?
she had several men that she was sleeping with unprotected. Then she claimed to be that another man was the father. So these are the reasons that I have my doubt. She have lied about faking a pregnancy, stated she was pregnant with twins when she found out Aaliyah was pregnant, and come to find out that's a lie because her mother told me it was a lie. She acted like she was in a hospital when she really wasn't, Your Honor, and she gave me a bogus number stating that it was the hospital number and it went to a cell phone. What hospital have a voicemail?
You're saying she lied about a second pregnancy?
Yes, when she found out Aaliyah was pregnant. She is very jealous of Aaliyah. She's in competition with Aaliyah. So when she found that out, she sat
I'm
up
just
here and
saying,
said
no,
she was
I don't
pregnant.
know.
So, Miss Pickens, did you
Yes, I
lie
did.
about
Yes,
a second
I did.
pregnancy?
Yes, I was
Why?
kind of hurt. I was kind of hurt. Yes, I did lie. And the only reason how you know I lied because I told your son that I
No.
lied. Yes,
we
you
found
do.
out because we called the hospital, and there was no such record.
Why did you lie?
Yes, I did lie because I was kind of hurt. I was hurt because at the time.
So you did it to get back at him?
Yes. Yes.
Then she said she had an
But
abortion.
you now have to understand why your
Yes.
credibility is about
Yeah,
shot.
I know. So.
Okay, that's what I just want you to understand.
Yes.
Why another woman, another person, or a
Yes.
judge
Gonna
might
feel the
not
type of
believe
way.
what you're saying
Yes.
when you make up an entire pregnancy story that
Yeah, I
you
know.
then have to admit was a lie.
Yes.
Miss Jackson, prior to coming to this court, have you ever requested a DNA test?
I have. and they told me I need to pay for it.
No,
My thing is, yes, I asked for it the day one, from day one. I said, due to the fact, and my thing is with Miss Sonia, for her to be a mother, okay, for her to be having a dispute with me, I have every right to feel the way I feel. If this was her son, she would feel the same way.
All right, Ms. Pickens, let's go to your witness. Please stand.
And when I asked, she told me I have to pay for the DNA.
First of all, Your Honor, I'm not gonna say what my child don't do wrong and what she is, because at times she is wrong. But at the same time, if she having a problem with Aaliyah, why do this one gotta get in it? This grown woman. So my child's 19 and I got a 30-something-year-old woman, I'm talking, jumping in at the same time.
So just to clarify, Aaliyah seated here
These both
is
of them
Ms.
go back and
Jackson's
forth.
son's
Yes.
We go back and
other
forth,
child's
leader.
mother.
Yes.
Yes.
Aaliyah,
This is the mother of my grandchild.
listen.
For real.
Okay. I want to understand your position
Okay.
and why you are certain that your grandchild was fathered by Ms. Jackson's son.
To me, she looked just like hair, eyes. She does looks like this little boy done lived with me for about a month because his mother put him out.
Exactly. When he doing
He didn't have nowhere to
activities, yes.
go. But I had a picture of Kevin, her, his little brother, and his dad, and they all look the same way.
So besides looks, you feel like
And
they
believe
look
me, let me
alike.
tell you
What
something.
else?
I got 4 daughters, and I confide in my daughters. And before I even came, I asked Markel, is there anything you need to tell me, anybody else, before I go out here looking like a fool?
And when you asked her to tell you the truth, she said...
She told me. I mean, I knew about the other guy, and I knew about Kevin. But at
So once you knew about the other guys,
Right.
in your mind, did you say to yourself...
I never said that. He came around, but I never, ever said, oh, Shazaya looked like it. Never. But when Kevin started coming around...
But when you knew your daughter had slept with another man around the time of conception, did you say to yourself, well, are we certain that is Miss Jackson's son? Or did you just go on the look factor?
No. I asked her at one time, you know what I'm saying? Because she didn't have no features of this other guy.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
All
then
right.
when she told me, she never said Kevin. She said somebody else. Didn't happen, so Kevin came around, and that's when I started seeing her features. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, she do. She got
So
nappy
you
hair
went
like
off
him.
of the fact that you felt like they resemble. Okay.
Right.
Thank you so much. You may be seated. So, Miss Jackson, now she's saying that your son came around and claimed, he said, this is my daughter. Why would they not believe it?
Your Honor, I do understand your question. And the only thing I can tell you is this. My son, he did say that this is his child, but a woman should know who the father of her child is, period. Period. It's not for a man to come tell you. It's for you to know. And I have told Markel over and over again, we could have been had this resolved. If this is my grandchild, I will apologize to her. I said this to her on Facebook, and I will take in that child. But I don't believe in my heart, Your Honor, and I'm not wrong for not feeling like this child is mine. I'm not wrong for that. I'm not.
So what you
So
gonna do
this
if it
is
is?
really
And
hurting.
I just told you, comprehend. I said, if this is my grandchild, let me dumb it down for her. I will take care of her.
She good. She good. She don't
So
need your handout.
this is hurting you, and I can
It
tell.
is very much,
And is it because you feel misunderstood, or you feel just so frustrated?
Frustration been left the building. 'Cause
Yeah,
this
I
child,
even had-
Hold on.
Because people know I take on kids that's not even mine, so it's not even about that. But if I'm telling you I don't believe this, do not attack me for feeling how I choose to feel. Everybody want to talk about keeping it real, but I'm keeping it real with you, and you attacking me for being real. And it hurts.
You know, as I sit here, literally between both of you, the sides, I understand both positions.
Right,
So
it's
now I
gonna be
want to hear
one.
from your witness before we go to the results. Ms. Manning, please stand and tell me what you have to add.
Okay, Markel's not even concerned about Kevin being the father. She's concerned about me and Kevin's relationship.
I had never been
From day
concerned.
one, I didn't know Markel from a can of paint.
didn't know you.
She found me.
So you're
did
Ms.
not know her.
Jackson's son's
I did
current
not
girlfriend.
know her.
Yes.
I knew.
Okay, Ms. Pickens?
Yes.
Let her talk.
Okay, Ms. Manning, I'm trying to understand. You're his current girlfriend?
Yes.
And you have a child
Correct.
with him?
Correct.
You didn't know of Miss Pickens?
At all.
And you say her concern.
It's more about me and Kevin's relationship than finding if that's Kevin's daughter.
No.
So you say this
No.
entire
No.
position she's taking is based upon the fact she just wants to destroy what you all have.
Basically.
And she's jealous of it.
Very.
Okay. I think it's important that we begin to talk about how to move forward.
Yes.
This is
Yes.
a mess. Miss Manning, you can take a seat. Miss Jackson, what are your hopes for today? What do you want?
I don't want to be involved with these people at all. Period.
I know that's right. Who
I
wanna be
really
involved
don't.
with
That's
you?
my hope. Let them go on about their business. Find the father of this child. And just like I stated, if this is my granddaughter, I will today start taking care of my grandchild. But I don't think it is.
Great. And I want you to know I will hold you to that.
Oh, you don't have to. My
Good.
grandkids that I have, they will tell you that. And here's one of the mothers. I take good
Miss
care
Pickens,
of my
what are you
grandchildren.
hoping for today?
I'm just hoping that we find out who her daddy is today, because I do want her and Shazia's life. I really don't care too much about me, because it's just about Shazia.
That's right.
And I just want her to do, just call about Shazia, see if she okay, and at least spend time with her.
I will.
If I do come back to North Carolina, that's all I want.
I will. That's my
Okay.
grandchild. I will.
Jerome, may I have the results, please? These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics. And they read as follows. When it comes to 1-year-old baby Shazia Pickens, Mrs. Jackson you are not her grandmother.
Got you. Thank you, God. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Mama, she just came out with that thing. I need order. Court is in recess. When we come to this courtroom, it's about the children.
Yeah.
And if you do know who her father is, for her sake, ask them. Be willing to offer and say, if you want to go half, if you want to take a DNA test, whatever it takes for your baby, that's your focus. And look, I tell people all the time, mothers come in this courtroom, you don't let no man take you off your game. Your mission in life is what?
Take care of my baby.
Exactly. All right, so I need to call a recess because while I know this is the news that you wanted, I think courtroom decorum would suggest that maybe we didn't need to do a dance and throw papers in the air.
I could have handled it better.
You could have
I
handled it
could
better,
have.
and I want you to acknowledge that.
will.
So at some point when things calm down, you know, I don't care if it's a letter, a phone call, or a text. I think an apology would be nice, and just to wish her and the baby well. You know being a mother is tough. You need that village, right?
That's right.
And today she lost a portion of what she thought would be her village, okay?